So Donegal 217, Tyrone 213 in the National Football League as Donegal secure their status in Division 1 for next year after a victory over Tyrone this afternoon in the National Football League round 6. And yeah, what a game it was in the end. A very intriguing battle between both Donegal and Tyrone. Obviously the game was, made of much more importance really after the Mayo result, because it meant that, whoever lost this game could be in the potential of getting relegated. Relegation is a serious possibility now for Tyrone, with the fact they play Mayo next week as well. Huge chance for them to potentially get relegated. But look, listen, we'll jump into that. We'll jump into the game. Certainly plenty of positives to take away from Tyrone. Conor McKenna, absolutely fantastic. What an addition he is going to be to have in this Tyrone side. But yeah, let's jump straight into it. I suppose first of all though, before we jump into the video and talk about the game and get wide into it, I do obviously want to pay my condolences to the family of Johnny Curran, who unfortunately passed away earlier today. Huge sad day for Tyrone GEA, for everyone associated with the GEA, and obviously his family as well. Johnny Curran won the All-Ireland with Tyrone as a goalkeeper back in 2008. So, he's widely respected across the whole of the GEA community, and obviously, for his family, for his friends, and for everyone associated with Tyrone GEA, I would like to pay my condolences to that. But yeah, look, listen, we'll get into the game, and I suppose first of all, what we'll do is we'll have a look at the teams here. First of all, we'll have a look at the Donegal team on screen right now. So Sean Patton in goal, Owen Van Gallagher and Neil McGee and Stephen McManaman, of course, making up the fullbacks. The halfbacks, Ryan McHugh, Paul Brennan and Jake McKelvey. Of course, Caelan McGonigal came in there instead. Hugh McFadden and Jace McGee made up the midfield. Patter Morgan, Niall O'Donnell, Kieran Thompson making up the halfback line. Jamie Brennan, Michael Murphy and Oisin Gallen. For Tyrone, Niall Morgan in goal, Liam Rafferty, Ronan McNamee and Rory Brennan, the fullbacks. Halfbacks, Tiernan McCann, Kieran McGeary and Michael McKernan. Padraig Hampsey and Frank Burns in midfield. Matty Donnelly, Conor McKenna, Darren McCurry in the halfback line. Peter Hart, Conal McCann and Connor Moyler. Of course, Noel Sludden came in instead of Peter Hart there for the Tyrone forwards. And yeah, look, listen, it was an interesting game. Both sides certainly feeling each other out kind of in the early stages. Certainly a very defensive battle in many ways. This wasn't fluent, open attacking football, although it did ended up being quite a high scoring game. Donegal very impressive in many ways, keeping possession, being patient on the ball, waiting for their opportunities. They didn't miss too many chances in this game. They were very clinical. They took their opportunities when they needed to, and they were very good at working scores, this Donegal side in particular. Michael Murphy at times dropping into the half forward line, even at times dropping into midfield. Outstanding. Jamie Brennan, of course, kicking a couple of early points for Donegal, setting the momentum, setting the standard. Patter Morgan, what a goal that was. Really well taken goal. Hitting him with his left foot into the top corner. Very well taken. And a great run in particular for Donegal. And look, listen, I felt like whoever started the brightest in this game was always going to have the momentum, because then they'd be able to control the possession and control the flow of the game. Tyrone's tactics were, set up as they usually do in many ways. Very defensive, of course, and waiting for Donegal to lose possession in that half-forward line and then break on the counter-attack. And it certainly did work on a number of occasions. They were able to kick a lot of points early on from the likes of Matty Donnelly and Niall Sludden, and of course Conor McKenna, who had a significant impact in there. Obviously no Cathal McShane, as we said before, injured for today's game and injured for the season. So Conor McKenna came in and did very well. Great goal at the end of the game, which we will get on to as well. And yeah, obviously Tyrone got back in the game with the penalty. Very soft penalty in my opinion. That certainly didn't look like a penalty at all from what I could see, but obviously the referee's given it, looked quite soft. And obviously well dispatched, it must be said, by Darren McCurry. And from there obviously it was kind of 50-50 in terms of the flow of the game. Who was going to take possession, who was going to take control, and Donegal just always seemed to have the upper hand, and I think they just were a little bit better going forward, a little bit better with their forwards. The likes of Patter Morgan, Jamie Brennan, Oisin Gallen as well, outstanding at times. And Donegal were very good at working the ball side to side in the half forward line. They'd work it around Tyrone's defence when they needed to, and they were just clinical in the moments that mattered. Obviously they get that second goal as well. Jamie Brennan, very well taken goal, of course, slotting it past Niall Morgan. And Donegal were brilliant from kickouts as well. Sean Patton, fantastic from the kickouts, and Donegal just able to absorb possession in the midfield when they needed to. And look, listen, Tyrone certainly in the second half, in my opinion, missed a lot of chances that would have kept them in the game. It was a 6 to 7 point game going into the final closing minutes before that goal, of course, from Darren McCurry, or from Conor McKenna, I should say. And, they missed a couple of easy chances, a couple of frees being missed by the likes of Darren McCurry. David Mulgrew came off the bench and, kicked a good point, but at times, again, missing a couple of chances. And, yeah, look, listen, for Tyrone, they've certainly shown with Conor McKenna and with some of the options that they have there, the likes of Matty Donnelly in particular, that they certainly will pose a threat for Donegal in that opening game. The question will be, how will Tyrone outscore this Donegal side? Because Donegal just have the slightly better forwards, in my opinion, than Tyrone right now. When you take Cathal McShane out of there, I think if Cathal McShane had been fit and he included him with Conor McKenna, Tyrone are serious All-Ireland contenders. I mean, look, listen, they're still in the top 6, top 7 in the country. I'm certainly not writing them off by any stretch of the imagination. They could easily beat Donegal, there's absolutely no doubt about it. But, yeah, look, listen, obviously for Tyrone, they did get that late goal through Conor McKenna, very well dispatched, very well finished, and unfortunately by then the game was pretty much over. We were deep into stoppage time, and of course at that point, Kieran McGeary and Rory Brennan both sent off for Tyrone at that point, and they were down to 13 men with a minute or two to go. There was no way that we're going to claw back a 3-point deficit, and in the end Donegal even got a point of their own in the closing stages. It certainly makes for a very interesting last day of the season. Tyrone, of course, going to Mayo knowing that if they lose and Monaghan beat Meath, then Tyrone will be relegated. And it goes to show how small the gap is down there. If Dublin had lost to Meath yesterday, Dublin would have been in serious threat of relegation. So very tight, very close. I do expect Tyrone to respond a lot better next week. I think they're far better defensively than Galway, and they'll certainly cause Mayo a lot more problems. So for Mayo, I think everybody will be wise to them a bit more now. I don't think anybody will be underestimating them after a very impressive performance. But anyway, that is going to be the end of the video, guys. Do let me know down in the comments below what you thought of all the games. The fan reaction show will be a new show which will be out tomorrow, with me and a couple of various other GEA YouTubers talking about all the games, of course, that took place, and recapping all the big and important talking points. So yeah, hope you had a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed the matches being back for me. Great to have GEA back. Hopefully this won't be the last weekend. I really hope we don't go into a level 5 lockdown tomorrow, but yeah, what can you do? Anyway, yeah, leave a like, subscribe, and sure, look, I'll talk to you later.